Could you be so good at sales that you get into the Guinness Book of Records in your industry for selling the most of whatever it is that you sell? Well, it is possible. In this video, we're going to talk about someone who's done just that. G'day, Ben Futrell here, co-founder of Max My Profit. We're all about helping you build the business that you imagine. Now, if you imagine that you had a business where your customers came back and bought from you so often and so regularly without thinking about even going to a competitor, then you are going to love this video. One of the things in the early days of building businesses that I learned about was a gentleman called Joe Girard. Now, Joe Girard is in the Guinness Book of Records for selling the most amount of cars. Incredible, right? And when I tell this story, when I first started researching this story, but I tell others about this story, they're very much amazed by what he achieved. Now, Joe Girard was a car salesman who had a little bit of a different philosophy on how to go about customer service. And in fact, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time that you bought something major like a car and then you got regular contact from the salesperson as a follow-up to make sure that you were happy? Well, I know what the answer is, and it's probably never. Very few cases where people actually follow up and say thank you for being a customer. Now, Joe Girard decided that what he would do is that he would spend his life wowing his customers. And as a result, in 1973, he got into the Guinness Book of Records for selling the most amount of cars in a year. Now, in his total career, he sold 13,001 cars. He must have just been so close to the 13,000 that he wanted to crack that number. But he sold 13,001 cars. Now, if you go and you Google this guy's name, you'll be able to find a full history on it. He's got about 5 different books out. But I'm going to share with you exactly what it is that he did to get into the Guinness Book of Records and get those sales happening. And all it was simply being grateful and letting his customers know that he was grateful that they bought from him. So here's what would happen. You'd buy a car from Joe, and the very next month, you would get a thank you card from Joe, and it would say, "Thank you so much for buying a car from me." You'd have a little paragraph in there. "I love you, Joe Girard." And so a month after, it might have written something else there, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. You would just get a card from him. The next month, you would get another card from him. The next month, you get another card from him. Now, what would happen is every single month, you got a thank you card from Joe Girard, or a birthday card, or an anniversary card, or a Christmas card. But every single month, he would send you a card. Now, this was back in the 70s, and you might be asking yourself, well, should I just start sending emails? I actually think that sending a card is still the most relevant thing to do, or even making a phone call. And what would happen is that he would send a card every single year. Joe Girard worked out that his customers on average would buy a new car every 24 to 36 months. That's right. So if you think about his acquisition cost to get his customers back, let's say it cost him $2 per month to send a card out. That is $24 per year. It cost him no more than $72 to get his customers to keep coming back and buying from him over and over again. Joe Girard is in the Guinness Book of Records because he said thank you to his customers. So here's my challenge to you. Could you be sending something out every single month to your customers? Whether they're past, present, or even the future customers that you've done a quote for, maybe you should be sending out something every single month. Now, it's entirely up to you how you go about doing this, but I think it would be worthwhile investing in a batch of thank you cards and every single month sending it out. I can tell you that I'm no different to you. I go through life buying some pretty significant things, whether it's houses, it's cars, it's clothing, and very rarely do I get any communication after the sale is done. That whole mentality that I've got the sale, I'm going to move on to the next one, is very dangerous when it comes to selling, because what it means is what you're thinking is I've got to find my next sale. You're actually losing your next sale by not keeping in contact with your customer. So Joe Girard, thanks so much for the lesson. Make sure you look out for his books. He's got 5 of them, and go and read yourself some of those books, and it's going to help you become a sales superstar, or even just a superstar in life. Thanks for watching. See ya.